Hi, it's your boy Amanda, and I'm sick and I'm playing Smash. But I just saw Spies in Disguise, and boy, was it something. So, I originally saw it because I really had nothing to do on New Year's Eve, and I thought it would be something fun for the whole family. But I mean, I don't know how family friendly I'd consider this flick to be. Well, the movie starts with, oh yeah, there's gonna be lots of spoilers in this review. I'm just gonna explain the plot of Spies in Disguise. Because boy, is it a trip. So the movie starts with little Tom Holland, and he's like an inventor, and he's inventing things that make people happy. So, like, he stops the bad guys by calming them because, he a good boy. And then his mom's like a cop, and she's like super supportive of him. And I mean, you can tell it from a mile away. One of my friends I went with literally just said out loud in the theater, "She's gonna die." And I mean, literally a couple scenes later, he's in his house looking at a picture of his mom being like, "I miss you." And it's like, called it! But, like, when he's all grown up. But after, like, the little introduction of cute little Tom Holland, baby, it's like Will Smith, spy, being, cool and on a mission. He's trying to get some, like, case that had some important thing in it from some guy with a robot hand. And then, like, his gadgets got mixed up. And one of the gadgets that got mixed in was one of the things child Tom Holland was inventing. Like, as a child, he was inventing this thing that he used. It was like a glitter bomb that, like, makes people happy. Experiencing glitter makes people happy. Glitter don't make me happy. It makes me anxious. Okay? Like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna inhale it and it's gonna kill me. Or, like, it's gonna be in my bloodstream. Or, like, the fact that it's bad for the environment. Or the fact that you're applying it wrong. Because, like, people apply glitter wrong. Like, if you, like, spray glue on something and roll it in glitter, you're the problem. You gotta use a clear glue and mix the glitter in that, okay? If you want, like, a thick, nice, like, because some people are like, but that's, like, glitter glue and you're gonna get, like, empty spots. No, you just gotta add a crap ton of glitter and you're gonna get a nice, smooth coat. And you're like, oh, but it'll be bumpy. Yeah, if you do it your way, it's gonna be bumpy and the glitter will come off on your hands. Okay? So don't bite me. Glitter snobs. So where did I leave off? Oh yeah, he like had a glitter bomb and then like it distracted all the ninjas or whatever. I don't know. And then he goes back to the base. And then he goes and confronts Tom Holland. He's like, oh, I'm talking about Will Smith now, not Tom Holland. So then Will Smith confronts Tom Holland and's like,
Yo!
I need to be quiet.
Yo! Your stuff is whack!
So he's like,
Yo! I don't want your gadgets in my stuff.
and like everyone thinks Tom Holland's weird because, he calls his spy gadgets like the inflatable hug and like kitten glitter or something it was called. Like those are his names of his things because he doesn't want to hurt nobody because Tom Holland's a pure boy and we love him. So then Will Smith's
It's like, yo, stop getting in my gadgets.
and then Tom Holland's like,
yes, sir, I guess.
I'm just kidding. Will Smith fires him. Yeah, Will Smith fires Tom Holland, and then Tom Holland's sad. So then Will Smith, apparently robot hand guy, pretended to be Will Smith. So then Will Smith is hunted by his own people because they think he's bad. So now he has no one to trust. But Tom Holland, before he fired Tom Holland, he was telling him about like this technology he was developing where he could be invisible, like where nobody could see him. So then when Will Smith is running from his own spy force, he goes and finds Tom Holland, who lives sad and alone in his dirty home of where his mother no longer lives. And he's like obsessed with pigeons. You see where this plot is going. So he has like a lady pigeon, and that's like his best friend. It's his emotional support pigeon, as he says. And he like tests the serum on his pigeon, like with one of her feathers. And then when Will Smith comes over, he's like trying to find this invisibility serum. And then Will Smith unknowingly drinks the invisible pigeon feather, because like the pigeon feather like goes invisible, you know? So it causes Will Smith to turn into a pigeon. Oh no! Kookiness ensues. So when Will Smith turns in... Okay, so one of the things that alarmed me about this film, this is my first, like, this movie may not be for kids, red flag came up, is as soon as he was transforming into a pigeon, the first thing he did was look down his pants. I was like, you realize pigeons don't have ding-dongs, so your ding-dong's going bye-bye. Do pigeons have ding-dongs? If they do, I don't want to know. But he turned into a woman pigeon, so I mean, he wouldn't have a ding-dong no matter what. Yeah, they reveal that he turns into a female pigeon. That's revealed later in the movie. When he gives birth. So then he becomes a pigeon, Will Smith does, and he's like,
Yo, I don't want to be a pigeon.
And Tom Holland's like,
Pigeons are great, first of all, but I'll make an antidote, but it's going to take a hot second, okay?
so then Will Smith needs Tom Holland to make him an antidote so he's not a pigeon forever. And then the spies, because, you know, Tom Holland kind of, you know, he doesn't know that the spies are after Will Smith. So he tells the spies, like, yeah, Will Smith is here, because they're asking him, you know, like, where's Will Smith? And they're like, oh, he's here. So then Will Smith as a pigeon and Tom Holland, like, you know, they get away from the spies and they run off. And then they go to Mexico. Okay? And when they're in Mexico, because they're trying to find the only person who knows about Robot Hand. So when they go to Mexico, they meet two other pigeons. Their names are Jeff and Crazy Eyes. I love Crazy Eyes. He is a hoot and a half. He's this weird demented pigeon who has a sucker stuck on the top of his head for the entire movie. And Jeff's just Jeff. Jeff's just Jeff. He's just a pigeon. One thing that's really cool is all the pigeons don't talk except for Will Smith pigeon, of course. And, like, Will Smith pigeon just kind of understands them. And then Tom Holland's pet pigeon, the lady pigeon, she is in love with Will Smith. She loves him. Like, she is in love with him. So she flirts with him, like, the whole movie. Well, she doesn't talk. She kind of just gets closer to him whenever she fluffs up her feathers. Like, she loves him. So then, oh my god, I'm like losing my marbles over this movie. Literally everyone I saw it with, like I saw it with a group of 4 people, including myself, and literally the whole car ride back, we were just like talking about like how much we loved this movie. Like, this movie is one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had in a theater. It is one of the strangest movies, but also one of the best. So in Mexico. So they're in Mexico, they find like the big guy, and they find out about Robot Hand, but Will Smith tries to do it alone as a pigeon, but guess what? He needed Tom Holland's help. So Tom Holland helps him. Because the whole thing is like Will Smith likes to work alone, and Tom Holland just wants to be loved. And Will Smith wants to get the job done, and clear his name, of course. So then the other spy people follow them, you know, because they're trying to find Will Smith. But then they escape, and as they're escaping, here's the other not so PG thing. After, you know, they talk about Will Smith's pigeon butt. I don't know what scene it is, but there's like a scene where someone grabs Will Smith as a pigeon and sticks like a pen or something, and like jabs him right in the butt. And it's really, it's something I wish I never saw. And I feel like kids would be really scarred by that. Like, I don't think that's something people wanted to see. But let's just get to the part where it gets worse. So, like, Tom Holland and Will Smith, they, like, jump off the building to get away from the other spy people who are hunting Will Smith. And he, like, whips out his grappling hook, and they're, like, swinging, you know. And as they're swinging, they hit multiple people in the crotch with their faces. Like, you are paying people who have went to school for animation to animate that. You realize that. Like, you told someone, hey, can you animate this kid and a pigeon's faces ramming into multiple crotches of just random passerbyers in Mexico? I don't know if the Mexico part matters, but I mean, still, like, what? That's a thing. Well, I'm gonna get off that rope, but so they escape, you know, the whole shebang, and chubby guy, big guy, he told them, oh, Robot Hand went to Venice, Italy. So they go to Italy, and somehow Jeff and Crazy Eyes, these two random pigeons they met in Mexico, followed them all the way to Italy. Like, that's dedication, okay? Jeff and Crazy Eyes are loyal. Love them. They're great. As soon as they get to Italy, they get found by the spy people. But they don't know Will Smith is a pigeon. They only are after Tom Holland. So they catch Tom Holland, but little do they know, Will Smith Pigeon was right there the whole time. But bam! So Will Smith Pigeon helps out Tom Holland. And so Will Smith Pigeon and Tom Holland, what do they do in Italy? So they run off, they do their own thing, and they get lost in a sea of pigeons. But then Will Smith Pigeon and Tom Holland, they like go their separate ways because Will Smith needs to learn to fly because Tom Holland's trying to escape the spies. And then they run into Robot Hand. It's like a whole dilemma. But then Robot Hand gets Tom Holland. And then he's trying to lure out Will Smith because he thinks Will Smith's still human. But he doesn't know where he is. And they're in like a sea of pigeons, okay? So then Will Smith like distracts Robot Hand. And then Tom Holland chucks a bunch of breadcrumbs at Robot Hand's face. And then Robot Hand gets mauled by pigeons. So then our gang, Lady Pigeon, Will Smith Pigeon, Jeff, Crazy Eyes, and Tom Holland all escape. Because then they go escape in a submarine. Because Robot Hand... Oh yeah, the whole plot of the movie is Robot Hand has a database of all the spies. And he's trying to frame Will Smith for it. And he wants to eliminate all the spies pretty much. Because he like finds all their identities. And that's his whole big plan. So then... Tom Holland puts a tracker on Robot Hand. So then they take a submarine to follow Robot Hand's tracker. But as soon as they get there, on their submarine trip there, Tom Holland finally develops because he finds out, like, Will Smith Pigeon is actually a girl pigeon, because why not? So he's able to find the correct antidote to bring Will Smith back. And when he does, Will Smith is like, yo, remember all that stuff I said about you being my real teammate and stuff? Yeah, it's time for a third act breakup. It's an animated kids film. Of course we're gonna break up right now, you know? So then he ditches him. Then he sends him away. He gets caught by the bad guy. You know how this works. And then Tom Holland comes and saves the day. He saves Will Smith. And he's like, wow, you really are a true friend. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then he calls, like, the good spies, because now Will Smith has his name cleared, because they know Robot Hand's no good. And then they use Tom Holland's, like, weapons and stuff that he made, like, his good weapons, like, where it's, like, bubblegum. I forgot to mention that Crazy Eyes swallowed a super powerful spy pen. And Crazy Eyes kind of becomes God. He kind of just, like, freezes things, and he, like, spits, like, this gummy stuff out of his face, like, he becomes overpowered for most of the movie. Crazy Eyes does. And Crazy Eyes is a pigeon, by the way. We're almost there. We're at the climax. So, Crazy Eyes is going crazy as he is. And, like, the pigeons are helping, you know, and all the spies are helping take down Robot Hand. But then Robot Hand gets Tom Holland. And he, like, drags him into the frickin' sky so he can set off all his drones to kill all the spies. And then Tom Holland puts him in a bubble, like the inflatable hug thing. So he'll live, like the bad guy, Robot Hand will live, but Tom Holland will die. So Tom Holland pretty much sacrificed himself. But Will Smith was like,
he ain't gonna do that.
So Will Smith turned back into a pigeon because he found the pigeon serum. So then him and all the pigeons unite, and they save Tom Holland. They saved the day! Yay! And that's Spies in Disguise, aka Academy Award winning film for Best Picture. Please and thank you.